holding down the fort last week, my friend. I appreciate you. We're going to play a game with you, and we're going to call this game Rep or Reality. See, some teams came into this season with a certain reputation. We thought that their season would go a certain way. Now that the season has started, the reality may be different. So as we look at some of these cases, you get to decide, Dalen, whether it's Rep or Reality. Are you ready for our first team, my friend?
I'm on the edge of my seat, Fitz. Let's go.
All right. Let's start with the Michigan Wolverines. They start the season ranked number 6 in the preseason. They won the Big Ten championship, made the Elite Eight. We all know the hype they got last year. This season, so far, no bueno. 8-7 on the year. So, Rep or Reality for Michigan?
I got my signs here. Don't kill my penmanship. My father would not be happy, but we're going Rep here, as you see there. Boom. This team is, obviously lost a lot from last year. You got no Mike Smith. You got no Isaiah Livers. You got no Franz Wagner. And we thought they would still be good. Juwan Howard is a good coach. He's got a good program building. But this is a young group that really can't guard right now. And they play a very slow tempo. And defensively, teams are getting shots they want and spots they want consistently. And they're outside of the top 50 in defensive efficiency. We haven't seen that from Michigan in recent years. And Hunter Dickinson comes back for his sophomore year. He's expecting a monster All-American type campaign. But this team is built different. They struggle when to get him the ball, where to get him the ball, how to enter it to him. And he struggles at times, too. He's trying to show that he can make threes. He's forcing the issue at times, not guarding at the same level. So this team is pretty disjointed. And when you're young, it's hard to win on the road in these Big Ten environments. And they've felt that. They've gotten one road win against the worst team in the league in Nebraska. So this is, unfortunately, for Michigan and their fans, all Rep.
Okay, I kind of do want to make fun of you for your sign, but I'm not going to. Let's move on to the team that
this is an arts and crafts situation here, okay? I just did it quickly. What are we doing?
I think the sign is very good, Dalen.
Okay, good job, Dalen.
Thank you, Fitz.
All right, let's go. Let's go to
Christine,
the team that Fitz mentioned
brutal.
at the top of the show, Auburn, who's currently number 2 in the country. They started the preseason ranked 22nd. Obviously, you're 17-1 now. Do you feel like this team is Rep or Reality?
You're going to get another sign, Christine. It's a different one, but it looks eerily similar. We're going Reality here. This team is way better than we thought they would be, without a doubt. Jabari Smith comes in. This young man may be the first overall pick in the NBA draft come the spring. 6'10", can knock down shots consistently from 3. A great athlete. Walker Kessler transfers to North Carolina. One of the best rim protectors in the country. And he anchors a solid defense that gets up in you, turns you over, plays at pace. And they've got guards everywhere that can make shots. This is the brand of basketball that Bruce Pearl wants to play. Up-tempo, in your face, everybody's got a green light, go make plays, go get buckets, and down there on the plains, folks, that is the hardest environment in the SEC. Full stop. I don't care what anybody says. Anybody that covers games right now has gone to games down there. That is the hardest environment in the SEC right now. So with that game against Kentucky today, it is the game of the day. I think Auburn wins that one, but Auburn's team overall this year could win a national championship, and that's not what we expected before the year. Reality is what we've seen.
The reality is, so far, I'm kind of hopeful next week we get little Honey Nut Cheerios, cereals, and he can make with the glue and do a whole craft project. I'm in on this. All right, let's go to Texas next. The Longhorns. I don't know why Christine gets all the teams that are overachieving and I get the underachievers. They were ranked 5th in the preseason, haven't lived up to the hype. They're 13-5. Rep or Reality on Texas?
I like how you're already saying all. This is the third one there, Fitz. All right, so keep your head up. Maybe we'll find a different one from you, but we're going to go Rep here too. This Texas team, and part of it, Rep, is their coach, Chris Beard, comes from Texas Tech. He went to Texas. He's a Texas guy, and we knew they would be a team that would be great on the defensive end. Problem is, offensively, they brought in all these transfers from all over the country, and they mixed with Andrew Jones here and Courtney Ramey, 2 veteran guards, and they have not mixed well. They're still trying to figure this thing out. So offensively, it's been a big struggle. They really don't know who they are offensively. They don't know what they are, and their roles have not really clicked in yet. Now, part of the problem, too, is they're in the Big 12, which is the toughest conference in the country. 10 teams that all are capable of making the tournament right now. They're all in the tournament discussion. They're all in the top 15 defensive efficiency. They're outstanding on that side of the ball, so it makes it harder for their offense to gel as we get into January. They have the talent. I don't know if they're going to figure it out. So right now, it's purely Rep. They are not the team we thought they would be.
I love that I wasn't the first person on this show to say that the Big 12 was the strongest basketball conference in the country first, because Fitz would have probably made fun of me.
I'm here to help. Are you going to Fitz? Are you going to argue and roll your eyes? What are you talking about?
No. It's the weekly Big 12 unless an ACC team is good, in which case he's going to hype the
conference.
There's no doubt about it. It's just Christine in the Big 12 is a little like me and the Raiders. It gets worked into every show.
I didn't say it first, though. I didn't say it first. Dalen said it. Okay, so let's go to the ACC and talk about UNC. Fitz, I'd only done one school, so let's go on. I'll underachieve for you right here. UNC obviously came in the preseason 19. Now they're unranked. They're 12-5. Do you feel like this is Rep or Reality?
This is so rep here, folks. So rep. And I'll tell full disclosure, I had them winning my preseason poll in the ACC. They were my team that was going to win the championship. They got Armando Bacot, this big beast in the inside. They're going to play a different style with Hubert Davis, 4 round 1. They've got sophomore guards, which is so much better than freshman guards, and Caleb Love and RJ Davis. But they don't have a dude, man, and they were so exposed against Miami, a dude that's just going to bring them together and compete, man. When they were at Miami this past week, they lost by 30, and it was never competitive. They were not connected. There's nobody on that team that grabs. Sometimes you need a guy to grab your 2 dudes by the head and clunk them together like Mo, like the Three Stooges. Like, you got to have some people that are going to get in your face when you're not bringing it from a competitive standpoint. That's what this team doesn't have. They lack leadership. They have talent. Hubert Davis can only say so much from the sidelines. He's saying all the right things. Those guys have to want to go and do it. So right now it's purely rep. They still have the talent, but at some point, somebody's going to have to say, we have to step up as a group, and we have to do it on the floor, especially the defensive end. We have to commit. They have not done that. When they're away from home especially, they are – I don't know what you're going to get. That Miami game was embarrassing for them as a program and for anybody that supports that team. A huge chance for them to bounce back on the road at Wake Forest tonight. We'll see what they can do, but it is rep compared to what we see right now.
Okay, so I'm going to ask this question knowing full well that by asking it, I'm going to get destroyed in a month when this all works itself out. But if we're going to do rep in reality, UConn women's basketball came in number 2 this year. They sit at number 9. They just lost to an unranked Oregon team. Everybody's chaotic. Everybody's yelling, screaming. I can't believe I'm asking this, but rep or reality on UConn women's basketball?
Look at your face. I didn't tell our producer, Sid, but I have a third sign. I'm going off board here, and this is what this is right here.
Oh, wow.
It just says Paige. It just says Paige. Because you cannot judge this team when Paige Beckers is still injured. She's been out for over a month. They hope to have her back in February. She's one of the best basketball players in the country, men or women, it doesn't matter. I mean, she gets you buckets. She creates for her teammates. She changes everything for them on both sides of the floor and how teams have to respond to them. So with her not in the lineup, I can't tell you rep or reality because it's not the right team. It's not the team that we saw before, we thought we were going to get, and they're not the team now that they may be in late February when she gets hopefully back on the court from her knee injury. So it can't be answered right now. It's not a cop-out. It just is what it is. She's that good. Her and Caitlin Clark are the 2 best players on the women's side in the country, and if you don't have one of them, it changes your whole squad. So when she comes back, maybe you ask me this again in late February, I'll give you a real answer.
I'll be scared to ask you that then, too. All right, so before we let you go.
Let's be real. I'll tell you right now, no doubt about it, it's just going to be this. It's just going to be this when she comes back. There's no question it's going to be reality. But go ahead.
Thank you. All right, so last week you and Rex Walters discussed Memphis being the most disappointing program in the nation so far this season. Memphis lost again, and Penny lost it afterwards. I want you to see this before we get your reaction to it. This is Penny Hardaway at the post-game press conference after their loss.
Yeah. Penny, have you ever lost faith that you can get this done?
At Memphis?
Yeah. In the first half like that, when it's unfolding, is it embarrassing? And
I think the one thing I can say to this media, because this media gets kind of up sometimes when it comes to me, we don't have our full roster. Y'all know we don't have our full roster. Stop asking me stupid questions about if I feel like I can do something. If I had my roster like they did, then I feel like I can do whatever I want to do. I'm coaching really hard. My boys are playing really hard. I'm not embarrassed about nothing. We have 4 freshmen starting. Y'all need to act like it. Act like we got 17 to 18 and 19-year-olds out here trying to learn how to play against 22, 23, and 24-year-old guys. Come on, man. Stop disrespecting me, bro. Like, don't do that. I work too hard. I work way too hard for that. Y'all write all these articles about me, and all I do is work. We got young kids on the floor. They got young kids on the floor.
Dalen, your reaction?
Penny said you guys come at me like it's just him. Ask Chris Mack over at Louisville right now how Chris Mack feels right now. When you're a program that is the big deal in your town, and they said they have tradition in history. I know Mack wasn't an Hall of Fame player like Penny was at that school, but you still have the pressure that's brought on, and you have to deal with it. When you're not performing and you have these preseason expectations, you have to expect too. You're going to have to answer these questions. And every question from journalists, folks. It ain't the best. I've been in a lot of press rooms. I'm like, what the hell was that question? But it doesn't matter. You got to deal with that, and you have to answer a little more appropriately. But you also have to answer for your team, man. They're one of the worst teams in the nation in terms of turnover rate. They don't take care of the ball. That's been perpetually a problem year in and year out. Late game situations, they've had problems for years as well. This team is not measured up to the talent they have, and in the end, the coach has to answer for that. Hey, they may get better. I'm not that surprised, in all honesty. They do have young guys. They do have problems with in terms of how they play the game and how they don't value the basketball. That is part of their program that they have to weed out. and you're trying to mix in these young dudes like Amani Bates and Jalen Duren, that has not worked out. He's still trying to figure this thing out. I don't think they actually get there in terms of ever being a threat in the tournament if they get in the tournament. But he's going to have to answer more tough questions like this. It's year 4. They haven't been to the dance yet. Doesn't look like they're going now. And they got a lot of high talent in that room, in that locker room. It's his job to put it together. His job also to answer those questions, which they're not going to get any easier. Nobody has any sympathy for you, Penny. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I would argue that if his name wasn't Penny, Memphis would have already been even tougher on him. Dalen, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much for the insight, my friend. Have a great week and work on the signs for next week. We'll send you some
Thanks for the arts and crafts attempt. Yeah.
Yeah, how about step up? Maybe you guys send me some equipment and I might make something better. Okay, I'll work on it.
I'll send you Honey Nut Cheerios and a box of glue. Let's go. Let's go.
All right, guys, it's time now for the surprisingly great assist brought to you by State Farm. And we start Northwestern at Michigan State. MSU's Tyson Walker dribbles into the paint, makes the pass to Marcus Bingham Jr., and he slams that thing down with one hand. NC State at Duke, Trevor Keels lobs the pass to Mark Williams, who makes the bounce pass backwards to Paolo Banchero to finish that thing off. George Mason at George Washington. After securing the rebound, George Mason's Xavier Johnson takes it down the court into the paint and makes the behind-the-back pass to Malik Henry for the dunk. Maryland at Michigan. After a Miss Maryland basket, Michigan's Eli Brooks brings it down and lobs it up to a flying Frankie Collins, who makes quite an athletic play. And Kentucky at Texas A&M, the Aggies, Wade Taylor IV charges it in the last second, makes a backwards pass to Aaron Cash, who finishes things off. And finally, Oklahoma at TCU, Damian Baugh attempts for the lob pass, tipped and recovered by Emmanuel Miller, who hands it to Ellie Lampkin, who puts binoculars and finds Miller for the basket. Those were your surprisingly great assists brought to you by State Farm.
You're watching Countdown to College Game Day, covered by State Farm. We're now joined by a player who has taken college basketball by storm. I'm telling you, if you watch a Wisconsin game this year, if you're of age, and you make it a drinking game every time you hear the name Johnny Davis, you are not going to fare well, because it happens all the time. He is crushing it. Johnny, thanks for the time, man. We appreciate you joining us. Let's start with the hard-hitting journalism you only get on this show. It's cold as hell in Wisconsin. What's the go-to fashion game for Johnny Davis to stay warm?
Sweatpants and a very big trench coat with at least 2 hoodies underneath it.
Doubling up on the hoodies. I like that.
Yeah, got to.
I've never heard of anybody doubling up on the hoodies, but I might have to try that. It's very cold here also. I haven't been outside in a long time, and I'm very happy about that because it's at 7 degrees, and I'm not about that. Okay, so let's talk about you on the basketball court. You've changed a lot as a player. From last season, you were a freshman on a majority senior-led team, and now you're a sophomore who's leading the team in points, rebounds, assists, post-game interviews. You're leading the team in pretty much everything. So it's a completely different player. What was the difference between last season and this season?
I would say the difference is, me being confident in myself. It has a lot to do with what I did over in Latvia, playing with Team USA. When I made that team and realized I could compete with some of the best guys in the nation, then, it kind of just really boosted my confidence and allowed me to, play my game at a high level.
I mean, not only have you stepped it up, but this entire team. I mean, not a lot of people were giving Wisconsin the love that they've deserved so far this year. What did most of us miss about this Wisconsin team coming into the season?
I think people kind of had, a reason to not expect big things of us because, we lost a lot of seniors from last year. But, with the freshman class that we got, with Chucky Hepburn starting and a couple of transfers, Jacoby and Chris Vogt, I think our team is very solid right now. We play really hard. We play every game like it's going to be our last as a team. And, I'd say that's where we pride ourselves, is just making sure we're the hardest working team every game.
Okay, so we know that your brother, Jordan, plays on the team. You guys are twins. You guys have
Yes.
2 other siblings who are also twins. And I always wanted to be a twin. It was like one thing that I honestly thought that I might have a long lost twin somewhere because it just sounds so fun. So what's it like not only being a twin, but also you have 2 sets of twins in your family?
Mm-hmm. It's pretty unique. It's not every day you got 2 sets of twins in a family, but having a twin is basically just having yourself around you all the time. I go everywhere with him. I do everything with him. And my little brother and sister, I love seeing them too, just how much they remind me of me and my brother.
All right, speaking of family, you're from La Crosse, Wisconsin. Your dad played for the Bucks. The Bucks just won a championship. What was that like for somebody local that grew up around the organization, seeing Giannis bring a title home?
It was great. It was well deserving for him and the team. But yeah, I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't really pay too much attention to the Bucks this year. Obviously, I watched the championship game, and it being from the state of Wisconsin, it got pretty rowdy around campus when they won.
All right, so I want to ask you our final question, but before that, I see that you have Michael Jordan on your wall behind you.
Yes.
So I'm guessing that's your favorite player. Obviously MJ. Okay, here's the question: LeBron or Michael Jordan?
Well, I mean, you can see it right there.
Greatest
Michael
player
Jordan,
of all time.
Obviously. Yeah.
Okay. So we know where you stand on that debate. Okay, so our final question: what is your favorite part about being a Badger?
Ooh, I'd probably say being homegrown. I'm from the state. Every time I put on that jersey and I see Wisconsin across my chest, I just know I'm doing it for all the people in the state and all of my family that lives here. It's just a blessing, to be able to play with my brother as well. But, my parents knew that once we both were getting offered by Wisconsin, that we weren't going to be able to pass the opportunity up.
Johnny, so he's used to the cold. It makes sense.
What'd you say?
Yeah, Christine, not everybody hates the cold, Christine. Some people love the cold. I don't know.
I definitely don't like it, but...
See?
It ain't
He's
too
just
bad.
used to it. Yeah. That's why he has the two hoodie game going on.
I've been around it all my life.
Johnny, we appreciate you, man. It's fun watching you kick ass this season. Have a great season. Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
You're watching Countdown to College Game Day, covered by State Farm. Take a look at which hoops games are coming up today on the ESPN family of networks. Number 6 Duke taking on Syracuse, noon Eastern. That's on ESPN. Oklahoma State got number 23 Texas at 2 Eastern on ESPN2. And, of course, number 13 LSU versus number 24 Tennessee at 6 Eastern on ESPN. Don't forget College Game Day coming up at the top of the hour on ESPN2. Speaking of which, we are joined by one of the stars of the show, Coach Seth Greenberg, hanging out with us. Let's get to some of these games, and we'll start with the hottest team in college hoops. Number 2 Auburn taking on Kentucky. This is a stacked game. What's the key to you?
Jabari Smith is the key. When you talk about Auburn, Jabari Smith, 6'10" with a guard skill set, makes 2 threes a game, shoots about 43 from the 3. He's a match-up problem. And the speed in which Auburn plays, they do a great job of moving him in the action. But it's not just Jabari Smith. They've got the best front court in college basketball, Walker Kessler. He's a 7-footer with a 7'5" wingspan, averages 4.5 blocks a game. This is a Auburn team that 9 steals a game, 9 block shots a game. They're explosive, but they're playing against a pretty good Kentucky team. A Kentucky team that leads the country in transition points. A Kentucky team that has Oscar Tshiebwe, who I call a mountain masquerading as a man, who leads Kentucky in points, rebounds, block shots, and steals, and an explosive Kentucky offense. So this is going to be a big-time game. The jungle will be absolutely rocking. I think a big matchup to watch is Kessler and Tshiebwe, and then Jacob Toppin and Jabari Smith. Jacob Toppin is one of the few guys that'll be able to match up with Jabari Smith for Kentucky. Toppin is 6'10", wingspan, good feet, can defend 1 through 5. He has the athleticism to be able to defend Smith. Will he? I don't know, but he has the athleticism and the potential. This will be a big-time game.
All right, another big-time game. We have a top 25 game between number 13 LSU, number 24 Tennessee, and LSU lost to Alabama. They got stuck in Tuscaloosa after having issues with their airplane, so they want to bounce back in this one. How do you expect this one to play out?
Yeah, LSU did a great job against Alabama, held them to 34% from the field and 21% from the three-point line. This is an LSU team that's not a good defensive team. It's an elite defensive team, a disruptive defensive team. This is an LSU team that switches 1 through 5. They're hard to run offense against. They get in passing lanes. They have great length and athleticism. They have the ability to turn you over, and that's their best offense. They get stuck in the half court a little bit offensively, but in transition out of their defense, how disruptive, how active, how alert they are, how long they are, how hard they play defensively, this is their best offense. They're playing against a Tennessee team that Quite honestly, Kennedy Chandler, their freshman point guard, has struggled a little bit. He's a terrific player, but he's hit the wall. A lot of freshmen, sometimes they hit the wall, and that's what's happened. Two teams offensively challenged at times, two teams that are built on the defensive end, but different defenses. Tennessee's going to keep you in front. They're going to test shots. They're going to limit you to one shot. LSU is going to get out in passing lanes. LSU scores more easy baskets. I think LSU wins this game.
All right, we got to get into the noon matchup. Syracuse, been a bit of a teeter-totter season. Win a couple, lose a couple, back and forth. They're taking on a Duke team that's been on fire, number 6 overall. What are you looking at? What are you looking at in this one?
Yeah, when you talk about Duke, you talk about Paolo Banchero. Paolo Banchero, Jabari Smith, Chet Holmgren are probably the 3 top picks in terms of the NBA draft. And Banchero, you're talking about 6'10", another guy with guard skills, great footwork, shoots the 3, can initiate your fast break off a defensive rebound. But here's the thing people don't talk about Banchero. He is not a good passer. He is a terrific passer. They need to play through him at the end of games. So Duke is not just Paolo Banchero. Duke is obviously Trevor Keels, freshman guard. Reminds me of Derrick Henry with the physicality that he plays with. Wendell Moore as a junior is playing at a very high level. And then Duke's defense has really improved, anchored by Mark Williams. But recently, people have spread Duke out, driven them, created mismatches. I don't think Syracuse can do that. Syracuse can really shoot the ball, but they don't have shot creators. They don't have guys that can spread, when you spread the floor, can get in the lane and make a play, and that's the concern. How Duke handles that 2-3 zone, that'll be an issue. And then if Syracuse, can they rebound out of that zone? If they don't rebound out of the zone, Duke will absolutely crush them on the glass, whether it's A.J. Griffin, whether it's Mark Williams, whether it's Paolo Banchero. This is a tough matchup for Syracuse, quite honestly, because the Duke pressure should disrupt them. And then you're talking about Duke. I mean, you got Banchero, you got A.J. Griffin, you got Mark Williams, you got Wendell Moore. Those are 4 NBA players. Hard to match up with 4 NBA players.
I know you can watch the game at noon, but you can also watch Coach hanging out on game day at 11 o'clock. You are always going to be the mountain masquerading as a man on this set, my friend. Thanks for hanging out.
My hair's just going back on defense. That's all there is. I wore a good tie for you guys. I just want to let you know I got to return at the end of the show.
All right, you're watching Countdown to College Game Day, covered by State Farm, Jason, Fitz, Christine, Williamson. It is National Answer Your Cats Question Day. Yeah, that's a thing. I can't believe that's a thing.
Weird.
But it is National Answer Your Cats Question Day. And when it comes down to cats, that makes me think Christine, because if you follow her on Twitter or social media, you know that it's the ball girl. She's a cat owner. She's cat lady. So we figured we would take this
I'm not a cat lady.
To have you answer. What? You're a cat fan. Cat fan?
I am a cat owner. I'm not a cat lady.
Cat owner?
There's a difference. Okay.
All right. So the first question comes from your cat, Louie. And Louie wants to know, flawless or fabulous, obviously.
Oh, he's flawless. He's flawless,
okay,
obviously.
There's no doubt. Our next question comes from your cat, Giuseppe, who asks the important one. Was there room for Jack on the floating door?
Was there? Yeah.
Titanic?
I mean, I feel like if you were looking at this picture specifically, they could have just done what Louie and Giuseppe were doing and like get on each other's, like he could have just got on her back. Right?
Well, with that being said, that brings us to Louie reminding everybody there was room for Jack. See?
I'm psychic.
We've got this covered. See, like, would you like, if you could have a superpower for a day, would letting your cats be able to speak to you for a day be one of those? Look at what we've got here. I wasn't ready for this.
I wasn't either. That is amazing. If you guys don't like naked cats, the problem is you. It's not anybody else. It's you. Just FYI, because naked cats are beautiful. Look at how beautiful that cat is.
I am such an animal lover that I will not dispute that, but it's only because I'm an animal lover. That's all I have to say about any of that, Christine.
Naked cats are beautiful.
What I can tell you, be sure to hang out, watch Game Day. They're doing great work. We'll be here every single Saturday. She's Christine Williamson. I'm Jason Fitz. For everybody behind the scenes that helped make this show happen, you've been watching Countdown to College Game Day, covered by State Farm. Come back, hang out with us next Saturday. We appreciate y'all.